Is gold going to break all-time highs? Is oil still a sell trade? Let's take a look. Welcome to Simply Forex, the channel that answers all of your trading questions and provides in-depth market analysis so you have the tools and skills to succeed at trading. And if you stay till the end of the vid, I'm going to answer a question that we have today on taking profit, and I'm going to give you all of my trade ideas for today as well. So if that sounds like a plan, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. So let's start with our question of the day. As you can see on my screen, I've got it here. Morning, Tony. So straight away, my name is Tom. Has he even got the right channel? We don't know. But morning, Tony. Is the German index still a sell? So we're not going to look at the German index, but we are going to look at the second part of the question. Also, I'm having problems when to get out of trades, right? So when to take profit. Should I have a fixed percentage exit, right? Or keep moving my stop loss into positive or into profit? All right, so we're going to look at this question and hope your dog's okay. Thank you. You got my name wrong, but you did care about my dog, so thank you. So we're going to look at this. Should I have a fixed percentage exit or keep moving my stop loss into positive? So let's look at this question, guys, right? And we're going to look at an example here on Euro US dollar. Okay, now let's go back in time and let's have a look at this candle here, right? So let's say we're Euro US dollar, we're looking for buys, okay? And we're looking for a H4 break of structure, right? So as you can see, H4 was coming down, it became an uptrend, and then we got this huge bullish candle, okay? Now, we want to buy this, and it makes sense that, you know, this is your target up here. Okay, it makes sense to me, and we're going to look at why this makes sense very shortly. Now, let's even say that, let's move that. Let's even say that we waited for a retrace back down to this level. Okay, so as you can say, if we just play this along, right, we get our entry. Okay, so we've had a nice break of structure. We get a retrace to what was once resistance becomes support. Can I just say, first of all, I bloody love that setup, right? Now we enter in here. Okay, so we start buying here, and I think it makes sense to put our stop loss below these lows, right? So that is the first thing you need to know, right? Where is going to be your stop loss? So before you think of any take profit, think about where is your stop loss, right? So the entry makes sense, and now the stop loss makes sense, okay? So we are risking around 75 pips on this trade, okay? Now, that's information we need, because if we know where our stop loss is, we can determine take profits, risk to reward, etc. And the first part of the question was, should I have a fixed percentage in terms of my taking profit or exit? Now, lots of traders say, oh, Tom, I want at least, you know, 1:2 or 1:3. And I generally think this is a lot of nonsense, right? I know that sounds quite controversial, but it is, right? What must be your target is what the market tells you. So first of all, we don't trade what we want, right? I want 1:2, I want 1:3 risk to reward, right? And this is a fixed percentage, right? You know, I want 1:10. I want a gold-plated Lamborghini, right? But it's not about what you want. It's about being realistic in terms of your target. And for this trade, it makes sense to make the next piece of important resistance your target. I would actually aim for this 1.05 level, as it's a big psychological level. So this would be my take profit before it even hits this level of resistance, right? So I don't know what this is in terms of risk to reward, but I know that has to be my target. It's not, I want certain amount of percentage or I want a certain amount of risk to reward. It's all nonsense. Trade what the market will give you. Okay. And it makes sense to take profit to this level from a price action point of view. All right. And as it pans out, that will actually be, so this is 120. And if you remember, guys, our stop loss was 75. So you're getting about 1.5 to 1, right? Which is still not bad risk to reward. So I would only take this trade, right, up to this level, right, because the target makes sense. And I would still only take this trade if I got at least 1:1, right? So as we know, we get roughly 1.5:1, right? Now, let's imagine you entered on this candle, right? The breakout candle, this big green candle, and you started buying here. I still put my stop loss in the same place and my take profit would still be the same, right? Now, on the breakout, because this is my risk and this is my reward and this is my risk, I can't take this trade because it doesn't make sense, right? I'm risking 130 pips to make 73 pips, right? It doesn't make sense. So that trade I cannot take because, as I said, I want a minimum of 1:1. And as long as I get that, I can take the trade. But this idea of fixed percentage gains or I only want 1:2 risk to reward, right, is nonsense, right? Trade what the market will give you. Trade what you see, not what you want. And the market is telling you this area in here is where you should take profit. Okay. Now, if we play this trade along, okay, let's just see how it plays out, right? Let's just speed it up a little bit. Right, so it hits our target. Okay, so our target was in a good area, right? Because it got hit. And then look at the reaction we get at that level, right? So let's imagine you didn't take profit here, right? Remember, we entered here, right? Stop loss here. Now, let's imagine you didn't take profit up here and you're still waiting for your risk to reward of 1:2. You would be spitting feathers at this point. You'd be like, oh, why didn't I take profit? I should have took profit. I'm an idiot. You know, all of these things. And yes, you should have took profit, right? Back at these highs. The market is telling you that's where you take profit. And then even if you take profit up here, guys, and the market comes back down, maybe you find another entry in here anyway. And you can buy this, if you still like Euro US dollar buys, you can still buy this back up to this level anyway, right? So take some profit at a level that makes sense on the chart, not what you want in terms of risk to reward or a fixed percentage. And then if you still like the trade, chances are the market will give you another opportunity to take that trade anyway. Okay. So that's what I would say about targets. And then the other question was about trailing stop losses. Okay. Now, I'm not against this idea, but there's a certain method we should use to trail it, right? So let's go back. Okay, so let's go back to our entry, right? Okay, so let's go back to our entry, right? We entered once it got to this gray zone, right? So we entered here. In fact, I'm going to put a line in at that level, right? So we entered right there. That was our buy entry. So let's zoom back out again. We know our target up here. We know our stop loss down here, okay? So let's play this along. Okay, so right, we're looking pretty good, right? Now, as you can see, this candle, right, actually breaks these highs. Okay, so some traders would say, right, I'm going to take my stop loss and at least move it to break even. Okay, so let's say you moved your stop loss back up to here, right? Now, what will happen is this, right? So you've moved your stop loss where you bought in at this price. You're like, right, price has moved in my favor. Let's move my stop loss at the same point as my entry, right? And then let's see what happens. Right, bang, you are stopped out, right? You are stopped out of a perfectly good trade because we know that this comes back up to here. We've seen it play out. Now, I am not a fan of moving stop losses to break even because you're doing it because of fear and losing money, right? And what you should be doing is moving your stop loss according to what the market is telling you, right? Now, once I see price come down here and it bounces off, right? And then it comes down again and bounces off. This level has now been confirmed that this is a good level of support, right? Now, at this point, I would consider moving my stop loss, right, below this level, right? I'd probably move my stop loss to here because I still want to be below the moving average 20 and I have heavily reduced my risk. Okay, so I would consider that, okay, after we've seen enough price action to determine that this level right here is strong enough to hold. Okay, and that's when I'll move my stop loss, but I'm still not moving my stop loss into profit. I'm moving it into a place where the market tells me I can. So again, with your stop loss, don't trade what you want or out of fear or you're worried of losing money, right? Move your stop loss to where it should be in terms of price action. And then as we know, from that level, right, it doesn't come back to that level and you would end up having a nice trade, right? It still wants to come down to that level, but it still holds, right? Remember our stop loss was down here. All right, guys. So yeah, I hope that answers your question about taking profit and moving stop losses. Trade what you see, not what you want. If you've got some questions for me with regards to stuff you need help with in terms of trading, then please leave a comment below this vid and we will answer all of your questions. Now stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to give you all of my trade ideas for today. So let's come out of the back to the future button. And let's start with oil, right? We spoke about oil at the start of this live stream, and this is still a sell trade for me, okay? Because if we look at oil, guys, and just follow structure, right? This is West Texan Intermediate, but we were, ranging a little bit, but then bang, right? This candle has broken all of these lows in here, right? The body of that candle has broken all of these lows. So this is still clearly a sell trade, right? We're below the moving average 20, and we've got all of this nice room to move into before we hit the next level of support. And again, talking about targets, that's my target, right? As long as I get a risk to reward of 1:1, this is my target. So we're still looking for sells on oil. If we drop down to the H4 and try and find some entries, a couple of places, right? So we're still in a H4 downtrend. Price is retracing, as you can see. The moving average 20 is good dynamic resistance. So if we get a big bearish reaction here, I would consider selling oil. Or price, if I drag this along a little bit, price still might want to make its way back up to here. And this will be another area that I will look for a bearish reaction. If I get one here, I will also consider selling oil for today. All right, so oil is still a sell trade for me. And because oil is weak, so is the Canadian dollar, right? And this has led to some Canadian dollar trades. The first one being Euro Canadian dollar. Where are you? So if we look at the day chart, all right, at this point, right, we was in a daily downtrend. But at this point, we're not sure what's going to happen here. We're getting lower highs, but we're also getting higher lows. But yesterday's candle tells us exactly what's going on. It has broken this last high, and now we are getting higher lows, higher highs. All right, you can see the structure of the market is now in an uptrend. We're above the moving average 20, and I think we can take price back up to this 1.500 level. That would be my first target, if not further, back up to here. And again, let's take a look at where we can enter. So this is really a daily level, this grey zone through here, this support and resistance level through here. So I would consider two options with this trade. So a retrace into here, right? We get a bullish reaction, we can start buying. Or you can see these highs here, right? We get a break of this level, a retrace into here, and then we can start buying Euro Canadian dollar as well. I also like pound Canadian dollar and New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar, all for buys, all to take advantage of that Canadian dollar weakness. But we just looked at Euro Canadian dollar. I also like Euro pound sells. Okay, so if we go to the day chart, you can see with Euro pound, it was in this kind of sideways action, and then bang, right? We have now broken these lows. Okay, so that is a continuation of trend. We have retraced back to that level. All right, and now we're looking for a breakdown in structure to take price back down to this 8250 psychological level. If we drop to the H4, now it's tricky price action here, guys, because H4 is in an uptrend, right? We're getting higher highs and these lows were holding. So to wait for a H4 break, right, you could be waiting a very long time. You know, maybe we end up getting something like this, right? So we could consider a H1 structure break, right? And as you can see, price is just a little bit scruffy at the moment. But if we get something like this, and then we get a breakdown of structure, maybe even a break of this low, I think we can start selling Euro pound, stops above here, and take price lower. So Euro pound sells. As we said, guys, at the top of the show, gold, right? Now, gold, will it, won't it, is the $1 million question, is the $1 million gold bullion question. Now, I just want to get something clear here, right? This level is holding with gold, as we know, right? We keep getting wicks that close back in. Now, yesterday we did have this bullish candle, but that has not broken this level, right? That high right there with this candle has not been broken. The body of this candle, right, closed back below that high. So we have not had a break of this level still. So I'm not interested in gold because it just hasn't told us what to do yet. If we get a clean break of this level, right, something like this, a green candle, then okay, potentially we can start buying gold. Or I would add, if we got a big bearish candle, I would say we could start selling and complete this range that we're in. But nothing as yet is telling me to do either of those things. So gold is teetering on the edge of breaking this last high, but for me, it hasn't yet. And you're not in the business of predicting the future, guys. Wait for a candle to tell you what to do, right? Just don't jump in on the trade, right? Because you could start buying this because of this candle, and then today you get a candle like that. And you'll be thinking, why did I buy that? So don't, right? Wait for the market to tell you. All right, guys. So yeah, that is all of my trade ideas and analysis for today. If you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button and smash the like button. All right, guys. See you next time.